Support comes from Mosby Building Arts, on a mission to create remodeling experiences worthy of five-star online reviews. See the difference at callmosby.com.
From St. Louis Public Radio. This is the Politically Speaking Hour on St. Louis on the Air. I'm Jason Rosenbaum. St. Louis Mayor Cara Spencer delivers her State of the State speech this evening, and she's delivering her City Hall address at an uncertain time. No, she's not dealing with the constant political bickering that's become the baseline in St. Louis County government, but city residents do expect her to deliver services at the level she promised during her wildly successful 2025 campaign. We know they expect more because St. Louis Public Radio's Rachel Lippmann reached out to city residents about how they feel St. Louis is doing on the eve of Spencer's speech. Some of the folks that Rachel talked with at a community garden in North St. Louis, such as Bob Hansman, were pretty happy with St. Louis's trajectory.
I think the city as a whole is underappreciated and maligned.
Ken Underhill told us through Facebook that Spencer's tenure as mayor is, quote, the best we've had in years, if not decades. She is dynamic, savvy, engaged, and adept in the diplomacy this position demands. Others on Reddit felt their neighborhoods on the south side and in the central corridor were doing well, even if they were annoyed by the city's traffic signals or busted up sidewalks. But there were many people who felt St. Louis isn't working for them. That includes Carlos Naylor, who Rachel spoke with while he was around City Hall earlier this week.
Well, I think it's in pretty bad shape. The people good, but the money not there for the jobs. People here work hard and could barely live.
Like most of the country, the rising cost of living was on the mind of Carolyn Moore. She's pleased that she has access to St. Louis's charter schools, but she's worried that she may not be able to afford to stay in the city.
What I'm concerned about is gentrification, raising prices of housing and, trying to keep up with the economy. I think that they need to kind of work with people that can't match how expensive things are getting and just, try to make it make things work for everyone, not just keep raising prices, and the people that cannot afford to live there, then they get kind of thrown out. So that's something that I'm really concerned about.
Nana Diop is already starting to see the impact of rising costs when it comes to housing. She's so frustrated about how expensive rent is in the city that she wants Spencer to step in and try to help.
If you can tell the mayor that I think they should find a regulation about how much we have to pay for rent. There is no regulation. And if there is no regulation, anybody can say you can pay $1,500 and which was supposed to be $800. But if renting a house or an apartment is not regulated, the consumers are just spending too much money and they cannot even have somewhere to live.
One of the positive things that Spencer has going for her is that crime in St. Louis is continuing to go down, a trend that started during the tenure of her predecessor, Tashara Jones. But just because it's going in a good direction does not mean it's completely absent from people's lives. Rosie Willis told Rachel that crime is so prevalent that she feels she's always in crisis.
We got crime running all over the place. We have shooting night and day, every day in the week. Nobody takes a holiday from shooting and killing. We need some strong changes. Need to put a stop to this mess, okay?
And others pointed out that the city can sometimes seem dirty and disorganized, especially when it comes to alleyways and streets. Lance Stout says that some of the onus may fall on city residents instead of completely on city officials like Spencer.
I think the state of the city overall is in all right shape, but I think a lot of the alleyways could use cleaned up. I think some of the streets could definitely use a cleaning. And I think that if the average person walking down the road, even with a little bit of spare time, if you see a couple pieces of bottles, soda bottles, anything, and if you got a little bit of time, just pick it up. It'll help clean the streets up. Just an average person that don't take a whole lot of work.
It's worth noting that things like crime, high prices, and litter are always going to be present in a bigger city, no matter how much effort our new programs Spencer implements. But a more immediate issue that residents hope is dealt with permanently is recovering from last year's deadly tornado. In fact, resident Whitney Bryant told Rachel near City Hall that she's shocked by the amount of damage present nearly a year later.
I happened to be driving over there, and I was just like, wow, people are still displaced.
Several Reddit users, including one city resident using the screen name Commonly Uncanny, are hoping that recovery efforts speed up soon. They hope that the city can, quote, smash down the houses that have been abandoned for decades, force new apartment buildings to fill their retail space with anything at all. Helen Shaw lives close to where the tornado hit on the west side of the city. She says that recovery efforts are going to be complicated because residents are either underinsured or uninsured.
You know, it's sad that a lot of the people didn't have insurance and stuff like that, so where they were all their lives is gone, and I mean, how do you rebuild?
But Bob Hansman, who you heard from earlier, pointed out something to Rachel about the tornado that makes him bullish about St. Louis. He said the way community organizations, activist groups, and just everyday people mobilize to help their neighbors says something profound about the city's character.
I look at the folks in the city, and it's like if there was a model of how to behave with each other and how to take care of each other, especially since a tornado. I mean, this is a model people that left the city should be looking back to.
With even the most optimistic city booster conceding that recovery efforts after the tornado will take time, city residents will certainly be watching how Spencer navigates the city through the storm long after this evening's State of the City speech is over.
This episode was produced by Jason Rosenbaum, Rachel Lippmann, and Lara Hamdan, with production assistance from Alex Hoyer. Audio engineering and podcast design by Emily Woodbury.
Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations, and leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thank you.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
The Gateway brings you the day's news each weekday from around the St. Louis region and the state capitals in Jefferson City.
Our schools are accredited. We don't need this bill.
And Springfield.
How many more years must pass before lawmakers see time is of the essence?
I'm Abby Larico. Join me each weekday for The Gateway on the STLPR app or wherever you get podcasts.